Over my little hiatus, my little break, I was doing some research on the internet. And apparently 55% of Gen Z women refuse to date a man who does not believe in therapy. This is a good thing, right? It's kind of pushing dudes to go to therapy, basically saying, "Hey, I won't date you if you don't go to therapy." And then I watched a Dr. K video, Healthy Gamer GG. This guy is a clinical psychiatrist. And he was talking about how traditional therapy for men doesn't really work. Because what happens when you go into a therapist's office? You sit down. First thing the therapist says, "Well, how do you feel? How are you feeling?" This is where dudes get tripped up because that phrase is fucking foreign to us. How are you feeling? Like, what does that even mean? And this is why we're seeing research and studies that are showing that women have more success in therapy because women are more in tune with their emotions. When asked, "How are you feeling?" they can give words to describe. But if you put in a 19-year-old numbed out dude who doom scrolls most of his life away, and you put him in a therapist's office, which out of all of the categories of people on earth right now, it seems like this is the biggest crisis is for young men. They need fucking help. Oh, they should go to therapy. Well, there's a lot of issues with that statement. They should just go to therapy because you put this dude in there and you ask him how he's feeling. He's not going to have the words to describe how he's feeling because his whole life he's been told to bottle up his emotions, don't show his emotions. If he cries, he's a pussy. Maybe he grew up with a single mother like I did and kind of had to put his feelings to the side to feel like he was the man of the house. That was my experience. So what happens with bro is he goes to therapy and it doesn't fucking work for him because he doesn't know how to describe what the fuck he's feeling. And if you can't pinpoint what the problem is, how can you adhere to any sort of solution? So what does he do next? Goes home. Goes back to doom scrolling, feels worse and worse about himself, sees dudes on the internet making a shit ton of money, hanging out with girls, traveling the world, going to Dubai, feels worse and worse about himself, is afraid to go out there and put himself out in the world, afraid to approach women because everyone has their fucking phone out nowadays, so God forbid he approaches a girl at the gym and fucking gets called a creep. So he just decides to stay home and becomes increasingly more lonely. And this is why men have the highest suicide rate. I believe now, I'm not a fucking doctor. I believe it's because dudes don't have the language to describe their feelings. And if they don't have the language, the problem can't be identified and the problem can't be solved because the problem needs to get identified. So I'll tell you what happened with me when I went to fucking therapy, bro. I was a young buck. I was around 22, I want to say. Maybe I was 23. And I had a little bit of a drinky poo problem, right? After work, I would fucking go across the street, hit the corner store, buy a Four Loko, get a nice buzz on. It had gotten to the point where I was drinking pretty much every other night, if not multiple nights in a row, and I was a binge drinker. And during the work days, buddy, I was pumping myself with Adderall. Because, bro, that shit feels fucking amazing, right? And also, I'm getting more work done. So I'm pumping my body with Adderall during the day, sipping the caffeine, hitting my vape, basically like fucking stressing my heart the fuck out, drinking at night. And I realized, okay, this is a little bit of a problem. Like, I feel like fucking shit. Let me go to therapy. Let me try this. And I remember going into the therapist's office, and for me, I did feel more comfortable the fact that my therapist was a man, which I've heard that it's kind of rare to find a male therapist. So shout out that guy. But I remember like opening up to him, like telling him like, "Hey, I think I'm drinking too much." And I remember him giving me this fucking worksheet where it was a picture of an iceberg. And the top of the iceberg said the word anger. And then below the iceberg said all these different types of emotions, like, you know, guilt, frustration, loneliness, all these different emotions. And he was basically trying to describe to me, he's like, "Hey, you know, most men have only been taught to show this one emotion at the top of the iceberg, which is anger. But below the surface is a bunch of other shit." And I was like, I'll be damned. Thanks, buddy. Thank you for that information. I'll take this little worksheet home. Guess what I did that night? I got fucked up. Next week I come back. Hey, doc, I think I got a little drinking problem. Can't stop drinking. He's like, well, why do you think you drink? Well, I don't know. Maybe it was, my dad drank when I was younger, and maybe I just saw him drinking and fucking didn't help, bro. Didn't help. Ended up quitting therapy. Not only that, but that shit was expensive as fuck, bro. That shit was like $150 fucking dollars a session. It was insane. Now I have gone to therapy for my commercial flying anxiety, which has helped tremendously. So I do think there's a place for therapy, but the conversation being around, hey, let's just throw men into therapy, and women also kind of being out of touch with the idea. It's like, hey, I'm not going to date a guy if he doesn't go to therapy. And it's not like we as dudes, we don't want to improve ourselves. Like, this is why you're seeing this huge wave of manosphere content, this fucking alpha male, red pill, hit the gym, bro, make a shit ton of money, and you'll get girls. It's not like we don't want to self-improve. It's just this territory of therapy and talking about our feelings for most of us is foreign territory. And I guess I'm just going on a fucking ramble, bro, but I really don't feel like there's enough solutions out there for men. Because what happened to me after I went to therapy, or maybe it was before, I got the timeline a little fucked up, is I joined this online brotherhood. It was called the Wake Up Wealthy Brotherhood. And the leader of the group, like the dude who owned the company, was this jacked, tatted dude who'd been sober 4 years, making a fuck ton of money, had the wife and kids. I'm like, this dude has it all. He has, the money, he has the wife, he has the dream business, right? And he's fucking yoked. So I joined this brotherhood. And it helped, like, to feel that sense of community, and dudes would, chime in, hey, I'm struggling with this, and you were assigned a battle buddy, and you could call your homie and be like, hey, I'm kind of struggling with this. But, like, what I found even in that community is dudes still kept it, for the most part, pretty surface level, unless it was something that was extreme that was happening in their life. Like, hey, boys, I just fucking went through a breakup. I need some support, right? Other than that, dudes kind of, most of the check-in was like, hey, bro, fucking just closed a deal today. Hell yeah. Everyone's like, fucking sick, close a deal. And if you're watching this, you can probably see that most of your friends, it's kind of like that, right? Like, I have friends that are dudes where feelings, bro, off the table. Like, we're not talking about feelings, right? Especially, being a entrepreneur for the past 8 years, a lot of my friends are business owners. So a lot of the conversation goes around, fucking, hey, how much money are you making? What do you think about this strategy? Chopping it up, bouncing ideas back and forth. It's rare to find a group of dudes where you can really open up. And this is another part of the problem that I feel like is worth highlighting, is that it's scary, not just like as a dude to like tell a therapist what the fuck you're feeling, because you don't even have the words for it. But the people that are closest to you, you don't even feel comfortable talking about what the fuck is really going on, because there's this stigma that if you are vulnerable, that you're basically a pussy. And guys perpetuate this amongst each other. Like, have you ever been with your friend group, bro, and you start to say something that's like a little bit vulnerable, and you a little feel nervous, like sharing it, like, hey, like, I'm fucking going through this thing. And then one of your friends cracks a joke, and you can feel that it's like, it's just about to start getting deep, but like the other guy's like, whoa, hell nah, like, we're not going that direction. So he just quickly makes a joke and everyone laughs, and then like the conversation is redirected. Then what the fuck are you left with? That feeling of like, oh shit, no one cares, I gotta just deal with myself. And this narrative is also perpetuated in red pill culture. Like, I've watched so many Fresh and Fit podcasts where the main narrative was, no one cares about men, suck it up, like, no one fucking cares, the world only cares about women and children, is the narrative that they would perpetuate. That's simply not true, dude. Okay, people do care about men, but as men, we have to find the inner strength to find the words to describe what we're actually feeling, and have the courage to find new friends that will go beyond just a surface level connection. And for me personally, this is why I'm so grateful for getting sober and going on this spiritual journey and getting more in tune with my body and my feelings. Because, bro, like, nothing feels better than like feeling validated when you're chilling with one of your homies, or maybe it's even your girlfriend or someone you really care about, and you share your feelings, and you feel a connection because they can relate to you and they empathize. You have to kind of give them that opportunity. But again, if you don't have the words to describe what you're feeling, you don't even know what you're feeling, you're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to doom scroll. That's probably step number one, is like, how do you actually get in tune with your emotions? I talk about this in a lot of my videos. You guys know, like, I love meditation. I love to sit in silence and see what thoughts come up. Because what I believe, bro, is that thoughts are attached to a specific feeling. And Dr. K also said this, is that men are very physical when describing and expressing their emotions. So when I go to meditate, bro, I'll feel a tightness in my chest, right? Which is usually anxiety. And what I do is I don't try to mentally escape or think, oh, fuck, I don't want to feel this. I go deeper into that shit and give my body space to feel emotions, because emotions are felt in your body, bro. But I feel like dudes are walking around this planet almost like they're a chicken with their head cut off. Like they're disconnected from their body. And I think when Gen Z women are saying we want men who believe in therapy, I feel like the underlying context of that is like, I want a man that is in tune. Okay? Doesn't mean you're a fucking pussy. Doesn't mean you're a super nice guy pushover. But just be a fucking human again, bro, because a lot of these dudes are robotic. And I don't blame you. That's it for today. Listen, I'm back from vacay. Got this new microphone. Just chilling. Love you guys. Peace.